guest today, Catherine Davis. Catherine has 29 years of experience as a Qigong teacher and facilitator of meditation and energy healing systems. And she offers training and certification in several Qigong forms. Catherine is the host and producer of Heart of Mind, Radio for the New Millennium, and the author of the forthcoming book, Harness the Natural Rhythms of Life. It is such a great pleasure to have you here to share your knowledge of Qigong self-care and cultivation. Welcome, Catherine.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm very happy to be here with the Shift Network and the Global Qigong Summit again this year. I'm very excited to be with you. Thanks.
Wonderful. You know, when I was younger, I used to think that self-care was buying myself a bouquet of flowers, getting a manicure and a massage. And I admit I enjoy these things, but they don't have lasting value. And with the stress that so many of us are going through with the pandemic, the economy, and the problems in our societies, it's very clear that we need to expand the idea of self-care. Can you talk about Qigong as a form of self-care and how it has impacted you and your students and your community?
Yes, I would love to. One of the things about care, as you have been referring to it, it's really looking at the outside, the quality of our skin, our hair, our nails, our clothing. And what Qigong does is that it invites us to take a trip inside of ourselves, to journey through our inner world and discover what's going on the inside that may be contributing to our health challenges. And the truth is, one of the greatest purveyors of illness, the thing that leads primarily to illness, is stress. So we have to learn to deal with our stress in a constructive way. And with Qigong, it not only gives us that opportunity to relax and calm our nerves, but also because it's connected to the ancient traditions of traditional Chinese medicine, for instance, Taoism. There are practices that we can learn that will help us to actually heal those conditions from the inside out. And that's very powerful because if we are bringing a certain level of understanding and knowledge to our practices, that gives us a chance to really pull down the blood pressure, um, solve some of the problems we may have with digestion or circulation. So it has that double power that it's not just a feel-good exercise, though it does feel good. It actually helps us to transform the state of our health. And this is very important for, I think, everyone, but certainly for my students, they've really been working towards helping themselves and taking some of these exercises, helping their family members with it as well, so that we can begin to build healthier families and healthier communities with these practices. And I've lost family members to the virus, and it just struck me that this was the most important thing in the world, is to not ignore all those little health problems, because over time they could add up to big, big problems.
Oh, I'm so sorry that you experienced loss during this very difficult time. Um, I know, Catherine, that you have taught in a lot of different kinds of venues to people who perhaps didn't know anything about Qigong. And, one of the wonderful things about Qigong is that once you know it, it's like free medicine. And I'm interested in knowing a little bit about what your experience has been of introducing Qigong into communities which are, you know, don't know anything about it. maybe don't have access to high quality food or alternative healthcare. What has it been like?
Well, it's been amazing, actually. I taught for many years at the Riverside Church in New York, and I worked with people from various economic brackets because it is a big church, including homeless people who would come to the class. And they would come as a refuge in some ways to get away from the things that were going on in their life that were causing them to be stressed and unhappy and really struggling. So they would come, we would do the breathing and the moving, and it would help to sort of melt this anxiety and tension from their body, even people who had no home to go to. And I work with people who were elders and people who had really serious health issues that they were contending with, and they all seemed to really benefit from it. And that's what was reported back to me. And I have had students for almost 25, 30 years still from that period because people became so committed to doing the practice. I've also taught for a healthcare facility up in the Bronx. It was an organization that would do outreach into the community, into the streets. And I trained their outreach workers to be able to work with people with meditation and breathing so that when they encountered something out there in their job, they would be able to respond to it. And that was a very powerful program done through a hospital in the Bronx. And I have been teaching my own students as well, not just to train themselves, but also to take them up to a level where they can be a positive influence in their own communities. I think that's where the real power is in sharing these techniques, but also sharing the knowledge and the wisdom. When this was given in China, in early China, when people first started learning Qigong, it was considered to be just a healthy living method. It's what the doctors would teach the people so that they wouldn't get sick and have to come to them. So I just think that this is the power of Qigong. There's a lot of knowledge. You can think of it as an elite practice, but I think of it as an everyday practice for all of our family members, from the oldest member to the younger ones. There's a form or there's a practice for them. And it's easy. From my perspective, the biggest Qigong practitioners, the biggest group, are infants because they do it naturally. They get out, they cry when they want to, they demand food when they need it, they go to the bathroom when it's time. They're doing Qigong. And
I love that. That's so great. You're right.
and the rest of us need to remember that we have this capacity, if we're paying attention, to care for ourselves in a way that will help to maintain our health. And that's what Qigong is. It's that gradual process of getting back to the original blueprint and maintaining and sustaining our health.
Wow. So simple and so profound at the same time. You know, this whole idea of sharing the practice and the sort of democratization of qigong as something that everybody can do. It's very interesting. There seems to be a general feeling among many of the presenters this year at the summit that qigong is a transformational practice beyond what it does for the individual. So, what do you think, Catherine, about the potential of Qigong for helping to transform consciousness on a global scale?
I think there is great potential for that. Even if we think in terms of our own lives, our own beings, that when our vibration is lifted, not only does it improve our own health, but it impacts the people around us. It impacts our family, our friends, our co-workers, so that we can begin to have an impact on their lives as well. And so when we are thinking in terms of a global scale, we can think of ourselves as being of one union, of one being, not a sort of a groupthink kind of space, but in that we come from one creative force. And the more that we are expanding our own vibration, we connect to each other on those deeper, more advanced levels. And so we become very much in tune with nature, just like a flock of birds who, while they're flying through the sky, move in harmony with each other. Just one bird will change the direction along with the breeze or along with the currents, and all of the birds will just fly right behind them. No one has to speak, no one has to think. There's just a harmonious communication and energy between the whole flock of birds. And that's how we as human beings can also operate. And we can begin to work in harmony with each other, though truthfully we could be on opposite sides of the world, but we're working at the same level of vibration, and that begins to move out in waves and impacts everyone. And we connect to the earth when we do Qigong. We have roots deep into the earth. That energy flows through us and connects to the cosmos. The cosmos comes down, and there is all of this communication that allows us to not only heal humanity, but to work towards healing the earth, the planet. So the Qigong practice really does bring us all together as a unified life force on this planet.
Yes. And, that the way that you're describing this really reminds me of, this idea that's prevalent in Qigong of heaven, earth, and humanity, the three forces being like a partnership. And that's such a beautiful, beautiful way of living. And I think last year you talked about Qigong as a kind of a lifestyle. And I like that idea also because I think that when you practice Qigong, you do change your lifestyle, don't you think?
You change your lifestyle, but also you can bring it into your life. So for instance, it's lovely to be in a studio and, do the practices, but you could do it while you're washing the dishes. You could be doing your breath practice when you're doing the dishes, when you're walking to the train or the bus, you could be doing your walking Qigong. So the idea is to allow your whole life to begin to flow in that harmonious way, so that when you're waking up in the morning, it's like inside of you the sun is rising. It's not just up in the sky, because you're in harmony with what's happening throughout the day. And yeah, we can set aside that time. We do need to set aside time for ourselves, but then it seeps into the whole lifestyle, and we just become more relaxed and at ease in every moment of life. So it makes a big difference. And it kind of happens slowly. You don't realize it's happening, but before you know it, you just mellow.
Uh-huh. It's true. It's really true.
Yeah.
So I just want to switch gears just a slight few degrees away from what we're talking about, but it's still connected. And that is that Qigong is often called a cultivation practice. And a lot of people are a little confused by that idea. What does that mean exactly? And what exactly are we cultivating?
Um, it is a little bit convoluted of an idea for the everyday person, cultivation, but it's a little bit like growing a plant. You water the plant every day, and it just seems to grow and grow and grow. And the the way I like to think of it is like just making a pot of coffee. If you're dripping coffee, drip, drip, drip into a cup, and before you know it, you have a whole cup of coffee. Well, it came to you one drip at a time, and that's really cultivation. It's just doing a little bit every day with some consistency, and before you know it, your energy is growing. The energy fields are radiant. The energy is flowing through your body, improving your circulation, not just of energy, but of blood, of breath. So that's cultivation. Just, you can't do it overnight. Do a little bit every day, and before you know it, you will have reached a point of real progress.
Yeah, it's like a kind of a critical mass of energy suddenly is there, and then all of a sudden you realize maybe you're healthier than normal, maybe you are sleeping better, maybe you are doing your work without resistance. I mean, I think you're right. It kind of, I don't want to say creeps up on you, but it definitely is a kind of a snowball effect. Um,
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what makes it so much fun, because you wake up one day and you're not depressed. Or you wake up one day and you just have all this energy. It's beautiful.
yeah, it really is. So, I wondered if you could share a story or two of someone that you've worked with, a regular, average, normal person, everyday person, who has been using Qigong and what their experiences have been.
hmm Well, I have one person I've been working with Qigong, and she was actually diagnosed with quite a serious form of cancer. And she initially went and she did the initial surgery, the initial course of conventional chemotherapy. But then she was done with it, and she just did her meditation practices and her movement practices. And even though the medical profession didn't give her much hope, she made up her mind that she was going to be fine, and she just did her work and did her work just gradually. And over a couple of years, she was doing pretty well. She's doing very well now. And I think a lot of it is because rather than focusing on the catastrophic elements of illness, you can focus on being alive and being as well as you can be in life and making the most of your life. And this practice has been able to help her do that. I mean, I can't make any claims, and I wouldn't. I just know that the practice is helping her with her own internal spirit and her determination, and to give her tools to use so that she doesn't have to rely upon a bad prognosis, because she believes she'll be well, and so far she is. I've had a few people who are elderly who have been using the practice, and it's hard to say exactly how well it can help, but been able to keep their flexibility, be able to move, and not really deteriorate in terms of aging to be 80 or 85 years old. They're still very robust and healthy. And I've had one of the people that I was teaching to as a trainer for these techniques was a pastor actually, and went into her church and was working with her congregation. And she was working with someone who was having a lot of problems with leg swelling and because of circulation and diabetes. And she was just moving the energy through, not having much faith in what she was doing, but trying. And the man had a breakthrough. He totally had a breakthrough, and um, you know was able to release a lot of the water retention in his legs. So there are different ways that it can be used and shared, because the practices are not difficult. You just do it as you understand it, and your body responds because it's such a natural way to live. The body wants to be well. The mind, the spirit, we all want to be well and thriving. And we just have to give an assist to allow that to happen.
Beautiful. So I wonder, Catherine, if you could lead us in a short practice. I don't know, 15 minutes or so of a little routine that could be helpful to everybody in our audience.
So I want to take you through a real practice as I would do in one of my trainings or with, I do often, I work with people who, one-on-one, who are dealing with specific health conditions. And one of the most powerful forms that we can do is the bone marrow cleanse. The bone marrow cleanse helps to connect us to nature, to the earth. It helps to heal the body, but it also brings us into an elevated state of being, like we spoke of earlier in our conversation. So let's start by bringing our feet comfortably apart. And we want to relax our knees so that your body is comfortable. And you can even test that out by shifting your body from side to side. You want to have a nice, easy balance in your body. Excellent. And just before we get started, it's always good to warm the body up with a little bit of shaking. Relax your shoulders and your hips to release some of that excess tension. You could even bounce a bit. Really get your body loosened up just to get started. And we start this exercise by connecting to the earth. So bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. Just under the ball of the foot is a point called the Yongxuan point. Close your eyes for a moment and beam your chi into the earth. And it's like holding a flashlight and just looking at the beam going deep into the earth. And guide your chi to branch out underneath you, forming roots deep within the earth. And experience yourself as growing out of the earth organically, reaching high into the sky. And connect to the movement of your breath. Feel your breath flowing deep into your body. Exhaling gently. Remember, keep the knees bent. And visualize if you were watching a beautiful tree swaying to a breeze, flowing by through the branches. And just allow your body to sway as if you were a tall tree. Only we're responding and moving to the rhythm of our breath. Put the tip of your tongue on the upper palate behind your front teeth, and this connects the internal flow of chi. The internal orbit flows up the back, down the middle. So with the tip of the tongue on the upper palate, it maintains that internal flow. And we're going to work with the center of our palms, the Lao bone, bringing the middle finger in to the center. And that's where we radiate very strong healing energy. We can heal ourselves, and sometimes we can work with others if we're strong. And we want to face the Lao Gong into the lower dantian, 3 fingers below your navel, into the center. And so just gently relaxing the hands in front of the lower dantian. And we're going to expand that chi, opening up with your inhaled breath. Exhale, concentrate the chi back into the lower dantian. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And feel the energy between your palms and the lower dantian. As your hands come closer, it feels like a little bit of a buffering, sort of if you were to put the wrong tips of a magnet together. They have a tendency to build a pressure between them. And that's what the Qi can feel like. And each time we open up, our Qi flows out around our body, as well as rising into the upper body and flowing to the lower body. It's like expanding this orb of light from within, opening it up, concentrating it back. And then we're bringing both hands up as we lift the Qi into the field of the heart. So this is to build and cultivate an integration of the body and the emotions of the heart space. So we face both palms into the heart, holding that heart energy in between our palms. And we expand a little bit with the breath, inhale and exhale, concentrating the heart Qi. And then connecting all of the fingertips, we move into the standing posture for healing the heart. And this posture is referred to as the contemplative Buddha. So bring your awareness into the field of your heart, allowing your chest to expand with each breath. And as we bring our awareness and attentiveness to the field of the heart, we can connect to the deepest facets of our wisdom and to that deep peace. And then as we relax both hands, we mingle the healing resonance of the heart into the body, returning it to the lower dantian, then expanding both arms out to the sides. Lifting your fingertips with your palms facing out. We can extend, taking in a deep breath. Relax as we exhale, but drawing the Qi into the concentration within. Opening up, take a deep breath. Exhale, draw the energy within. And then the next time we stretch our arms out, relax the elbows and arrange your hands so that you could see both in the periphery of your eyesight. Look forward in an unfocused gaze. And this allows us to enter the state of the awakened Buddha, being observant of life, but not engaged in all of the stress and chaos. We can see it all, but be apart. And then relaxing both hands down, we bring one hand behind and place the back of your hand against the Mingmen point, which is the lower back, which would be the back end of the navel. And with the free hand, we sweep our arms in a full circle, connecting with earth and nature, And bringing the back of your hand to the forehead, to the Tianmu, or the heavenly eye. Bring awareness inside to the deeper mind, the pineal, connecting with your creative force. And then extend your palm up and send your chi into the cosmos. Circle your hand around to gather your chi back. Beam it through the bai hui or crown. Send it back into your spine. And as you lower your hand, you'll guide your chi down to the spine, cleansing the bone marrow. And then we can relax and change hands, putting the other back. And with the free hand, again, we sweep through the earth and the natural world and bring the energy back to the Tianmu, the heavenly eye or third eye. Bring your awareness in. Extend your palm up towards the cosmos. Circle your hand around to gather the cosmic energy. Beam through the bai hui and then bathe through the spine. Our hand is in front, but the focus is bringing that light to clear the bone marrow of our spine. And then relaxing our arms, we can scoop into the earth and draw the earth's chi up to the tip of our spine. Again, bathing through. And we begin to rotate both hands to bring the backs of our hands to the forehead, connecting inward to the upper dantian. And then turning palms up, we reach into the cosmos, scoop that energy around, beam it through the bai hui, and then bathing our hands back down, flowing through the spine, replacing any stagnation with radiant light. And let's bring both hands to the lower dantian and gather our chi into the lower dantian. And focus in on the breath. And bring your awareness back as you call back your energy. And just another really nice exercise is with the walking Qigong. And we do the walking Qigong with a breathing practice called the Shi Shi Hu. And with that, you inhale twice. Inhale, filling the lower lungs. Inhale again, filling the upper lungs. Hold the breath, and then exhale. And what happens with this breathing is we're really getting into the carbon dioxide in the lower lungs. When we hold the breath, it switches the polarity so that with our exhale, it really begins to pull out the stagnation. And we pair this with our walking, starting with the left foot. It would be inhale, inhale, hold, exhale. So we're starting on the left foot so that when we exhale, we're exhaling on the right side, which detoxifies the liver and pushes the liver toxins into the earth. So it's really easy. We'll just do it in place for a minute, starting with the left foot. Inhale, inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, inhale, hold, exhale. Walking Qigong is very popular, and it's used in Qigong hospitals for people with chronic illnesses, life-threatening illnesses such as AIDS or cancer, and it really helps people to extend and improve the quality of their lives. You would want to do it outside if you can, but really it's the movements that are causing your whole body with the breath and with your focus of mind to fully cleanse your body, cleansing the liver, cleansing the lungs. And starting with the left foot, inhale, inhale, hold, exhale. So that's a really wonderful couple of exercises for cleansing and renewing your body. And this breathing practice you can do anywhere. It works as a lymphocyzing breath. You can do it sitting down, you can do it laying down, you can do it while you're walking. So it's a wonderful way to begin to bring that Qigong practice into your everyday life, simply by breathing and being focused with your breathing. So I thank you. I think that those are a few ways that we can improve.
Beautiful. I really enjoyed that, Catherine. I always appreciate your wisdom and your very gentle connection to the movement of chi in our bodies. So I know that people would be very interested in reaching out to you. Can you share with our audience your contact information and let people know what's coming up?
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much. The best way to find my work is on the website, qigongonline.net, and you'll find links and you can email and make that connection. So that's a good place to start. I also have ongoing classes at Studio Maya in Brooklyn, studiomaya.com, and we actually have a free class once a month for people who just want to come online and try it out. So studiomaya.com for that. And I'm beginning a whole series of trainings on Qigong self-care because I believe that's what we need. That's what the world needs now. Is to be able to heal ourselves and heal each other. So beginning in June will be the next round of Qigong self-care classes where we'll learn different techniques for all the different organ systems to nourish, heal, and build Qi. So thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you again for such a great session, and thanks for all of you out there in the audience. We couldn't do it without you. I look forward to seeing you soon.